All right, so it's time to get started. We're gonna start with step one, which is your story. And this is all about your identity, your true identity. And I realize that when you're coming into this group, maybe you don't know who you are, or maybe who you are is somebody that you don't like whatsoever. You may have some lies that you're believing about yourself, which you actually believe is the truth. You may have some labels that are accompanied with you. They're not actually who you are. And so that's why we want to take this back to who were you as a little kid? Who did God make you to be before all the trauma, before all the sins that you committed? Who were you back then? Because honestly, that's the real you. So if you look at me and look at my life, you know, I was this happy-go-lucky little girl that just trusted everyone and trusted Jesus and trusted myself. And I was bold and courageous and started little businesses. And, you know, I just loved life. I had so much joy and so much peace and security. And then as life hit and tragedy hit, who I was began to change. And I just kept changing and changing and changing until I was just, you know, a figment of my own imagination. Who I was as a little girl was not who I was anymore. So I just became a chameleon because I didn't know who I actually was. So I was this way with this person and this way with that person and this way with another person because I was just desperately looking for love. And also I didn't know who I was anymore. So I was just whoever I needed to be to get love or to get attention. And what I discovered as I finally went all in with Jesus, as I finally got unstuck from a lot of those things in my past, is that I'm finally me again. I'm finally that little girl, all grown up, still starting businesses like Purely His, which is not a business, it's a ministry. But I love life, I trust the Lord, I trust people again, I'm happy-go-lucky, I'm at peace, I have security. I am that little girl all grown up. And what I want you to think of this as is God made the real you. And so here you are and you're all perfect and you're good just the way God made you. But then tragedy hit and you start getting a little bit covered up. And then you start committing sins and you get a little bit more covered up. And then pretty soon you're so covered up you don't even know who you are anymore. But as you get unstuck, those things start coming off. And then all of a sudden there you are again and you get to grow up and do and be who God called you to be and do. So part of your story that a lot of people don't understand is that when you have a history like mine, or you have things in your past where you're really ashamed of, once you're unstuck from those things, you don't have to be embarrassed anymore. You don't have to be ashamed anymore. In fact, you don't have to hide those things anymore because my story is my authority. My story is my platform. In fact, there's not one person I've ever met in these years of being unstuck that I couldn't relate to. And so I don't have to be ashamed that I had abortions because now I've got to help a lot of women forgive themselves for having abortions or a lot of men for paying for those abortions. And so yes, it's something that I wouldn't want to relive. It's not something I'm proud of, but it is something that now that I'm unstuck, God uses to help a lot of other people. And so I want to encourage you not to be embarrassed of your story, not to be ashamed of your story, and just know that once you're healed from it, you're going to be able to help other people with that. For instance, the Bible talks about you hypocrite. You know, first remove the log out of your own eye, then you can help somebody else remove the sliver out of their eye. What we're doing in Purely His is you're going to remove the log out of your own eye so that you can help others remove the sliver out of theirs. So when it comes to your story, I want to encourage you to be very real with where you're at, where you were, and where you dream of being. And lean on the other people in your group to notice those things about you, to help you rediscover who God actually made you to be. And as you're going forward, I want to encourage you to dream that you are going to be healed and you are going to get to know who you are again. And you're going to be able to help other people discover that same thing, because a lot of people, their greatest quest in life is, who am I and what is my purpose? And through this step, you're going to learn that. So I just want to encourage you to be very real as you're going forward. It's time to drop your mask and keep it real.